I'm here with City Councilwoman Joann Ariola. We just came out of a committee hearing at City Hall here. Why don't you, for people who have not seen, there were a lot of people watching the hearing, I think, for people who have not seen that, give us a nutshell of what it was all about.
So this hearing was on Reso 5 that was introduced by our minority leader, Joe Borelli, and I'm proud to be a co-prime sponsor of this resolution. And it supports a state, Senate, and Assembly bill that would bring all of our municipal workers back to jobs with their seniority, not losing any of their pension rights, and have them reinstated now that the mandates have been lifted.
We're talking about city workers who lost their jobs in one way or another under the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yes, whether it was for religious reasons or otherwise, they were put on leave without pay, also known as LWOP, or retired or were terminated.
Okay, so we are in the middle of 2024. The mandates were rolled out in the fall of 2021. Why are we still here? And do you have some idea of how many workers are still looking for reinstatement or some kind of redress?
If you added up all the municipal workers, there would be thousands, and we're still here because not everyone's back to work yet. And we'll continue with this until everyone is back to work.
One of the things that you were asking about during this hearing were the inconsistencies in the ways that individual workers have been treated under the mandate, under reinstatement policies, with some of them needing to sign waivers to be reinstated, some of them being reinstated without that happening. There's kind of a broad array of court decisions that have been made in favor of workers and also against them, and there's just been a wide variety of situations that people have undergone. So how does that affect, how does that inconsistency in the way that the city is treating workers, how is that something that you want to address?
So we really came upon it when we started to delve into helping members that had been placed on LWOP or otherwise get their jobs back once the mandates had been lifted. And we started to see that there were inconsistencies with people who were similarly situated. They each had, say, an Article 78 lawsuit, or they had, some were made to sign a waiver that they wouldn't sue. Others who had an Article 78 lawsuit that was active and they were all on the same lawsuit were told that they could come back without signing the waiver. So when we started to learn about this, we started to delve a little bit deeper with the law department, with DCATS, with the fire department, with the mayor's office, and we brought it to all of their attention. And we were able to reinstate quite a few of the members, but not all of the members that needed to be reinstated because the inconsistencies persisted. So all we were asking for was a contiguous policy. What is the policy? If you did not have the policy back when they should have been reinstated, then it should not apply. If you want to have a policy now, moving forward, then that should apply to anyone if there was such a terrible, shutdown or crisis like we did have with COVID. We just felt that there was no equity. People who deserve to go back to work should have gone back to work. If you're on LWOP and you're told that your job is safe until you could either comply with a waiver or get your vaccine or the mandates are lifted, and then find out that you don't have a job. Your job was filled, which was one of the cases that was spoken about today as one of the teachers, and to find out that they have to start from the beginning again as a new teacher, as a new firefighter, as a new EMT, to go to another state to become a paramedic. It's unfair. If they can work here mutually, they should be able to work here for good. This is their job, the jobs that they love, jobs that we need them to do. Our head count with our municipal employees is severely low. We need to get these people back to work.
Another thing you brought up was the cost. And you were asking some representatives from the city about this, the cost to the city of fighting. There are the lawsuits run into the hundreds of city workers who have sued the city in both state and federal court over this issue. You were asking about how much that has cost the city to continue to litigate at this time. Do you have any idea whether you'll get those numbers or who those numbers might come from?
I don't think the city wants us to know those numbers because they could go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think the city needs to stop appealing and just realize that the court has made a decision and hire back these employees.
Are you optimistic that that this resolution will be passed?
I am extremely optimistic, especially after today's hearing.
And the resolution is in support of state legislation.
Yes, it is.
Are you optimistic about that being passed at the state level?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Is there anything that you'd like to say to New Yorkers who were not at this hearing but who were affected by the mandate, city workers? What would you like to tell them?
I just want to tell them that whether you were here or not, we're fighting for you. We may not know your name, but we know your situation. And once we get this all sorted out, we will see you back at the job you love.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
City
you.
Councilmember Ariola.
My pleasure.